Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video, and today I'm bringing you some more top 50 global tournament content. So this time around I'm going to push to top 50 in the world in the Triple Elixir Global Tournament, which has just started. I'm going to be using this deck, which looks a lot like Xbow Cycle at a glance, but we are actually going to be spicing things up and running the Mirror in place of the Ice Spirit. Now back in January this year, when there was another Triple Elixir Global Tourney, I was having a discussion with 7-4, who is arguably the best Xbow Cycle player in the world before he sadly retired. He said that he thinks Mirror has a lot of potential in this format for Xbow Cycle specifically, and he actually ended up being the highest finishing Xbow player in that global tourney, ending with a result of 34 wins and a 43rd in the world finish. Ever since then, I've been a believer in Xbow Mirror for Triple Elixir, and that's why I'm going to be using it this time around. This deck has a lot of special plays you can make that you'd be otherwise unable to with standard 3.0 Xbow Cycle. You can mirror Xbows to keep up offensive pressure in multiple lanes, or even go the defensive Xbow immediately into an offensive Xbow sequence. Possibly the biggest perk of this deck is the ability to mirror your spells. You can mirror fireballs to deal with huge clumps of stacked troops, or use 2 consecutive fireballs in different situations when your opponents wouldn't expect it. You can mirror logs to take out multiple troops in the same lane, or even split them to deal with 2 lanes at once. And of course, you can't deny the improvement to spell cycle this deck gets once you factor in the mirror. You can mirror your knight or archers for additional defensive support, and even your skeletons to advance your cycle faster if you need to. And of course, you can mirror the Tesla to create a strong, unbreakable defense. Ultimately, this deck can have a lot of success if played perfectly, and you can find all sorts of ways to be creative with the mirror and make unorthodox plays in a multitude of situations. With all of that being said, I'm going to do my best to play well and hopefully reach the top 50 without much struggle. Let's get right into the games, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, and we're into the next match against Raxo from Bopin Esports. And we have Skeletons, Tesla, Expo, Knight. So I think we're going to cycle Skeletons and then probably just Tesla. He's going to have a Mother Witch, so that doesn't tell me too much, and it's going to be Golem actually. So we're going to Fireball that. We do have this Tesla set up, and I don't think we're going to go for a Mirror Fireball just because we don't have enough support to hit. So we're just going to try and cycle back to a second Fireball, and that'll hopefully be enough to take out the E-Drag as it is. We're going to go for an Expo now because we're about to get a huge overflow of Elixir from the Blobs. He's going to go for an E-Golem. We have 3 Teslas on the map right now. We're going to go for mirrored logs on these E-Golem Blobs. And Expo again immediately in the left this time because we are at a pretty good Elixir advantage, I would say. And this should actually lock onto the tower. So we're going to go for a log. Skeletons will hopefully take care of the Blobs as they do. And we are able to get a pretty hefty Expo connection here. We're going to Fireball everything. And he goes for an E-Golem in the right, so we're going to Expo immediately in the left. Looks like he might just ignore this. He's going to have a Tesla. That is not going to be the Tesla he was looking for as our Expo locks on. Looks like I'd say he's actually misplaying right now. Maybe he's trying to set up for a split lane push, but he is trying to go in both lanes. We get a very nice Fireball on the Mother Witch and E-Drag there. And he sets up with another Elixir Golem. I think we're not going to go for any defensive Expos, by the way, because he has a lot of support cards, especially in the air. And so I think that cycling Teslas and multiple Fireballs is going to be a better option against these E-Golem decks. So he's back to an Elixir Golem and E-Drag in the right. We're going to Fireball on the E-Giant and the Baby Dragon too. Knight, Archers. As you can see, we have 4 archers on the field as well, so just archers having a field day here. Back to another pair of archers, and with the elixir from these blobs, I think we are going to be able to support another Xbow push. And we're going to go for a Tesla too, just to DPS down whatever he has. He has NATO, but looking like he doesn't have another small spell, so we're going to fireball the E-Drag, and that is going to get us the connection. He's going to have Mother Witch, so I actually haven't tested this interaction before, so let's try it. Mirrored Log, unfortunately, does not kill Mother Witch, so a lot of people are complaining about the Mother Witch still, as am I, to be honest, but I think its most recent hit points nerf wasn't really a nerf. He's going to give up, most likely. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to 3-crown him in time, I don't think. But we can try and just put everything here on the field. But yeah, Mother Witch doesn't even die to 2 logs, nor does it die to mirrored logs. And wow, we actually just barely come away with the 3-crown there. So that's very nice. That is going to put us at 13-0 now. Top 50 is looking to be 15 wins, so let's try and keep it going and keep up this momentum. We don't have any losses yet. We're up against Gabriel, MR. Gonna give him the good luck back, and I think we're gonna cycle archers in the back. He's gonna have E-Spirit, so this could possibly be a cycle deck. He's gonna have Xbow, and I actually missed my first fireball, but we're just gonna mirror fireball, I think. He's gonna set up with a Tesla, so he's probably looking to make another Xbow push. So we're going to go for a low knight and try and fireball and then get a mirrored fireball down. He is probably not going to have the mirror because he has the E-Spirit. We're going to go for a low knight. To be honest, I'm playing this first game pretty badly so far, but I think we're going to be able to pick it up. We're going to go for a Tesla and then fireball, and mirrored logs should take care of that, I think. So yeah, we don't have the cycle that our opponent's going to have, so he's going to be able to outcycle us. So we're going to have to try and not get overwhelmed here. Mirrored log, again, I believe. Skeletons do unfortunately get onto our tower, so we are looking a bit low here. We're going to pre-Tesla to try and predict his Xbow as we actually hit it, so perfect. We're going to be able to just fireball his tower. He's going to fireball that, and Xbow does get a connection, which is surprising to be honest, but he just uses fireball, so we're in a defensive Xbow now. Not going to have anything immediately in hand for that. And we're going to go for a mirrored Xbow, level 10 offensive Xbow now. And this is going to be kind of just to bait out a response from him. He just used his fireball as well, so we're going to go for an Xbow on the right. Unfortunately, he is going to be able to fireball this if he wants to, which he probably will. But we're going to fireball the archer and log, and we do get a small connection there. So we are down a bit, but we're going to Xbow in the left now, I think. He predictive Teslas us in the right, so that is perfect. And I think we're just going to reset with a defensive Xbow now. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how to play this against the Xbow mirror when we have mirror of our own. We're going to go for a mirrored log. Sorry, just a normal log. He's gonna go for an Xbow, trying not to give us any fireball value. Luckily, our offensive Xbow is going to lock on, and I think we can just go for a log, and that should basically take it out. Defensive Xbow now. We do have to make sure to take out his tower as well, by the way, because we don't want to be left in a situation where we're defending. We don't want to fall behind in damage or anything, so we're just gonna go mirrored logs on this Xbow, I think. Perfect. With that does also put us in the damage lead. We're going to go for skeletons now to take out the Tesla with the support of our defensive Xbow. And I believe one more fireball in addition to this log should do it. So let's just cycle back to the other fireball. That was kind of a messy game, and respect to our opponent for playing 3.0 Xbow normally. He is very upset. To be honest, I think I played the start of that pretty sloppily, but we were able to make up for it with the mirrored logs on his Xbows and kind of close that damage difference. So let's keep it going against Destrutori from the Masters. We are at 14-0 now. So let's try and find out what he has. He's going to go for an E-Golem in the back, so we've played a ton of E-Golem today. We're going to go for an Xbow, and he's going to go for a Firecracker. So not going to be our typical E-Golem deck, what it looks like. We're going to fireball the E-Golem and the Firecracker, though. And I think we are going to try and activate King off this E-Drag. because it is probably going to be huge. Now we're going to go for a fireball, and maybe even a mirrored fireball here, which does take out a lot of the blobs, and as you can see, our activated king is helping us out a lot, and we're going to get archers on the E-Drag. It's hard to keep on top of everything, honestly, just because of the fact that it is Triple Elixir, and kind of having to narrate everything, in addition to trying to think about the best plays to make. But we're going to fireball that E-Drag and archers to try and take it out as he fireballs himself. So he's going to have kind of a faster cycle version of E-Golem. He might go E-Barbs here. Nope. He's going to go for a late firecracker. So we're going to mirror log right on that and try and ensure that we take out this left tower. And I think we might have to get back to a mirror for this right side push. But let's see. Fireball and then log, and we kind of are just going to let go of that E-Drag in the left. It's very hard to commentate all of this, to be honest, but back to archers, back to Tesla. He is not choosing to fireball our archers. We're just going to fireball his firecracker, I think, and mirrored log to take it out. And I am just bleeding in elixir, drowning in elixir right now, because he has all these E-Golem pushes. That Tesla was kind of pushed a bit too far to the right, so that's kind of unfortunate, but we are going to be able to cycle back to one very quickly in any case. So we're going to fireball and then mirrored fireball, hopefully after the blobs pop. He's going to go for E-Barbs in the left, so we're just going to log to get a ton of value on the E-Barbs, the firecracker, and the battle healer. And we are back to another Tesla. So, mirrored Teslas, cycled stacked Teslas, not mirrored. Although I don't think I've had the opportunity to use many mirrored Teslas yet, but that would be pretty fun. That would probably be really hard to break through. And looks like our opponent's going to give up. So we've had a ton of opponents giving up today, which is not something I'm complaining about for sure. We're going to go for archers, knight, and that is just going to be another quick 3 crown. And this should put us at 15-0. So I don't think it's going to be enough for top 50 based on crowns. We are playing Xbow after all, so for the people that didn't give up, we didn't necessarily get all 3 crowns the entire way through, but we are at 15-0 now. Top 50 is looking to be 16 wins, so let's try and keep it going. Get right into the next match against Levi from Taliban Youth. Give him good luck back. No Xbow in starting hand, so not necessarily able to punish. He goes for E-Golem. It seems like we're just playing a ton of E-Golem players, although unfortunately this one does have the Night Witch and Rocket. So we're just going to log and fireball that for sure. We want to take care of that Night Witch as soon as possible. And we are probably going to have to cycle back to another fireball here. Definitely going to cycle back to another fireball. So we're going to log and fireball. And I think offensive Xbow, I hope this isn't a mistake. We're going to log, mirrored log on the E-Barbs. They are unfortunately going to take care of our tower, take care of our Xbow, but we're going to go with an Xbow kind of counter pushing off this surviving knight and archers, and he is going to rocket. I kind of played it in the middle, by the way, to avoid rocket value on everything, just in case you were wondering. E-Golem is going to die, and we are back to another fireball, so we're going to fireball that for sure. He goes for E-Barb's Rage. We are going to go knight, archers in the left, so that we can kind of counter push with them. And he is going to be able to rocket, unfortunately, but I think we are at a pretty good elixir lead, so we're going to go with an Xbow now. Just cycling back to one. He's going to go for an E-Drag, so we're just going to fireball that to make sure that it gets taken care of with our assistance of our archers. And we're going to go for mirrored logs. I don't think he's going to be back to rocket yet, but we're going to go Xbow on the right now to keep up the pressure. He did just use rocket, as you saw, so we're kind of in a lot of offensive momentum right now, and we want to make sure that stays on our side. So he goes for E-Barbs, we're going to log, and then we're going to go right for an Xbow in the left, as he's going to be a bit busy worrying about this Xbow push on the right. We're going to kind of divert his attention and go into the left, and now we're going to go for an Xbow on the right. He's just going to rocket that, and as you can see, he is just in complete shock, unable to process what's happening. We're going to log, and I think just fireball this. Not necessarily the most optimal fireball. I don't think we needed it, but there's no harm in being safe. And he's going to go for an E-Golem now and he's gonna activate King, so he might have even given up. But yep, he's basically gonna give up, or hopefully anyway, because I don't want to throw this game by trying to 3-crown him, but looks like he's gonna give up. So very nice win against Golem there. Let's just let our troops take the 3-crown. And that is going to put us at 16-0, I believe. So very nice start again. 3-crowning. We're getting a lot of 3-crown just by people giving up, which is pretty funny. But that's going to put us at 16-0. Looks like we are just one game away from the top 50. So let's try and get that final match in. And we did unfortunately lose to Mega Knight P.E.K.K.A Balloon, which does set us back a little bit, 16-1 now, and the top 50 has moved up to 17 wins, so we're going to try and keep going and not try and get set back too far. Up in a match against Polar, going to give him the good luck back, and let's see what he's going to have. He's going to go for an Ice Wizard. I think we're just going to Xbow, try and find out what he has. He's going to go for a Bomb Tower, so Ice Wizard, Fireball. This is probably going to be Splashyard, if I had to guess. So that should be a pretty good matchup. Not entirely sure how good it's going to be with Mirror, but I don't see any reason why it won't be that good. So we're going to go for an Xbow, and I think just set up with another Tesla here. He's going to go for a Bar Barrel. We're going to make sure to catch that with our Knight. And I think something that should help us out a lot in this matchup is going to be mirrored offensive Xbows, because we're going to kind of be able to outcycle our opponent. He's going to go for a push right now, Graveyard Baby Dragon push. So we're going to go with an offensive Xbow, and we're going to go for a log, or a mirrored log on the Graveyard. And I think we're going to set up with another Xbow as soon as that Bar Barrel crosses over. And Tesla, because he's probably going to Bomb Tower. So he's going to go for a low Bomb Tower, which is honestly pretty well played by him. Going to log back this Ice Wizard and then go with another offensive Xbow, kind of keeping up the offensive pressure. And we're going to go for a Tesla, and then I think Fireball this and even log to try and maybe catch him off guard. Unfortunately, Barb Barrel is going to be able to take care of it pretty quickly, so I think the lack of a cycle card is kind of hurting us here, to be honest. But we're going to go for a Tesla, and then Fireball the Knight. And he's probably just going to Fireball on his own here. We're going to Mirror Fireball the Ice Wizard. He's probably not expecting it. He's going to go for a Barb Barrel. So we are going to be able to get a nice connection, although he does go for a Knight. So we're going to go for a Tesla Archers for this Graveyard, and then Expo immediately. We do have a surviving Tesla as well, which should help us out quite a bit. And the Expo does lock on to the tower, which is actually huge. So we now kind of want to make sure we don't lose our right tower, but that was actually huge. If you guys didn't notice, the Fireball kind of knocked the Knight back to the point where it kind of allowed the Expo to retarget onto his tower. But that was pretty huge. We're going to log here, and we did mirror defensive Expo just because I kind of wanted to help out on defense, because I don't really want to take a lot of graveyard damage. We are taking quite a bit. That Baby Dragon is splashing, getting really close. We're going to go for an offensive Expo to try and force an offensive situation. Log as well. And I do actually think that mirrored fireballs might be enough, but I did cycle my skeletons actually, so we're not going to have it. But he is going to NATO, and fireball is not going to be enough, so we're going to go for fireball just in time, and that is going to be a perfect last minute clutch. I was kind of stumbling all over myself there just because I was trying to keep up with the match as well, and like I said, it is very hard to commentate with these, but let's keep it going. 17-1, just one game away against what looks to be a Japanese player from the clan Galactic. So we're going to just cycle skeletons in the back and see what he has for us. He's not playing anything, so maybe an indicator of a heavier deck. We're going to go for an offensive Expo though. If he plays anything, we are going to have the opportunity to mirror Expo. And he's actually not playing anything, so maybe he disconnected, or I don't know, but I'm not complaining. We're going to go with this double Xbow setup. Try and just take the match, I guess. Maybe he decided to get enough wins for all the rewards and then just gave up to get his rewards faster. I'm not sure. I know that is something that quite a few people have done before. If you guys know Michifu, he used to do that. He would go 15-0 in a lot of global tournaments on his mini account that he was trying to max out, and then he would just throw 5 games in a row, which is pretty funny. I didn't really understand it, but that is going to put us in the top 50, guys. So 39th in the world with 18 wins and 1 loss. So that is going to be a pretty good start, I would say. Number 1 is looking to be No Candy with his giant graveyard bowler deck. Very glad I didn't match up against that. I think we could have gotten quite a few worse matchups, if I had to be honest. We could have gotten maybe some kind of Golem deck with double big spells, anything like that. And of course, we don't want to be dealing with that. But that is going to be a very nice start to our global tournament. Top 50 in the world again, as I said. That's looking like it's going to be a Lavahound deck with triple big spells. So I think I'm very glad I didn't face off against that, or didn't have to. This is unfortunately our loss here. But yeah, some really nice games. Definitely not complaining about only having 1 loss. I think to finish the video off, I might just go into a couple of replays from my earlier matches, just to kind of show you guys how I dealt with those matchups. But yeah, very nice start. So here are the 2 matches I shared. I think, well, here's one. That was E-Golem. We did play against a lot of E-Golem already, though. Okay, so here's one against Spawners. I think I'm going to show you guys this replay just because Spawners is a deck that a lot of people ask me how to beat with Xbow. And I think that Xbow does have matchup against this double spawner deck, but you kind of have to know how to play it. Although I think with us having Mirror in the deck, it should help us out quite a bit, since we are able to mirror defensive Xbows, mirror fireballs, mirror logs, and all of that. So let's just see how I was able to handle this spawner matchup. It's just the standard E-Barbs Cannon Cart version. Sometimes they run Mega Knight instead of E-Barbs, but he's going to go for a Goblin Hut, and we just fireball it right away. Normally I would Tesla or defensive Expo, but based on the fact that it's triple, I think we have to play a little faster paced. And as you can see, I already start out with a defensive Expo. This is the anti-fireball position to my right tower, by the way, so if he goes for a fireball on my Expo, he's not going to be able to hit my right side tower, and that is kind of the side that I have more damage in, as you can see. And I believe just now I mirrored a fireball, if I'm not mistaken. So I think mirrored fireball is definitely going to be a big key in this match. High Tesla just to snipe the flying machine. As you can see, I take the fireball value in the left as well. Just because he has Cannon Cart and Furnace, it doesn't hurt to take that out. So even though I want to get more damage in the right side, I'm not hesitating to kind of take as much fireball value, or just general spell value, as I can see it. I reset with a Tesla here, and he goes for a Mother Witch to spawn a Cursed Hog. We're just going to fireball that Furnace. So it's perfectly fine to take this kind of matchup slow, I would say. Again, I reset with another defensive Expo, and he fireballs, and he has a Flying Machine Cannon Cart coming down. I'm actually going to pause because this is actually just getting way too hectic to commentate live. But basically, when they have a Flying Machine coming down, you definitely want to make sure that you can get a Knight down in time, or anything down in time, to not let the Flying Machine lock onto your tower. So you kind of have to know those placements. Very important against any Flying Machine deck. So definitely wanted to mention that. As you can see, I kind of just go with a low Knight to tank and reset with a center Tesla. This is going to be your standard Tesla placement in this matchup as well, by the way. It is anti-fireball, which means your opponent isn't going to be able to hit the Tesla and either of your towers if he chooses to try with a fireball. And it is going to take care of any Spear Goblins and Furnaces, Fire Spirits as they come down. So this Tesla placement just has a ton of utility, and you want to make sure to take note of that. So he has E-Orbs coming down. I just log. I actually mirror log, just because why not? And I kind of made a small mistake here going for Skeletons, giving the opponent 2 Cursed Pigs, but that's still going to be fine. Our defensive Expo is still very much alive. And as you can see, I've already cycled back to log, and our opponent kind of made a big mistake here, giving me fireball value on both the goblin hut and the cannon cart. So you definitely want to be aware of any time that you can get fireball value, even if it's not necessarily in the lane that you want damage. So again, like I said, I was kind of going for the right side tower at first, but I have no problem taking value when I can see it. And that is just going to fully take out the cannon cart, and I'm going to reset with another defensive expert. Well, I was going to, as you can see I had it selected, but then I go with a mirrored fireball on the flying machine, just because I'm kind of chipping the opponent down. He's not really getting any damage onto my towers. I think he got like a couple of fireballs and maybe one stray spawner hit or something like that, but as you can see, if played perfectly, the spawner player should have absolutely no opportunities to break through the defense of Xbow. And as you can see, he actually elected to give up here, which has been the case with a lot of my matches. But yeah, we just take the simple 3 crown. So you'll notice that I went with 0 offensive Xbows. I think that is something that you guys are going to want to take note of in the spawner matchup. But even in single elixir time, the non-triple elixir global tourney format, you don't want to be going with offensive Xbows just because of the fact that they have bar barrel, which is very useful at taking care of an Xbow. They have cannon cart, of course, which is basically a hard counter to the Xbow, and they do have E-barbs as well. They also have Mother Witch, so if you want to go for skeletons to tank for something, Mother Witch is going to be able to punish you for that. So just be very passive and non-confrontational. Don't go in a lot or at all, unless the opponent overcommits so hard that you get the opportunity to. But I would say in Triple Elixir, in this format, just don't go in at all. In single, sometimes I do, but I would say not in triple. And for the last replay, it is going to be against recruits. So this is the deck that I'm sure a lot of people know and probably not love. They probably hate it. I kind of dislike it a lot. I don't really want to say hate, just because I know everyone has decks that they dislike, but it is, after all, still a deck that does take a mediocre, at least, amount of skill to play. You can't just pick this up, go recruits, Royal Hogs, blah, 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 and just win. I was talking to one of my friends, Zaf, and you do actually need some strategy to beat a lot of matchups. But that's kind of going off on a tangent. My point about this deck is, with the mirror, we do actually get a fighting chance as Xbow players. So this matchup, I would say, is like 75-25 in their favor or worse. Maybe, I don't know, for normal 3.0 Xbow Cycle, but with the mirror, we have the ability to go for mirrored logs, as you saw, something I like to do a lot. Mirrored fireballs if we need to, and mirrored Teslas as well. So just having that extra capability and extra components on defense is going to be a huge help. So let's kind of see how I was able to handle this recruits matchup as the final replay analysis of the video. So as you can see, I think he goes for recruits first play, if I had to be honest. Yep, he does. So just what you like to see. But as you can see, I'm actually cycling back to my mirror so that I'm going to go for a log to take care of the shields on the right, and then a mirrored log to take care of the shields on the left. And I'm going to pause just for a sec here, because I'm definitely going to get way too ahead of myself if I just let this go, but since it is Triple Elixir. But mirrored logs. So when they play recruits, they have 6 recruits, usually 3 in each lane, though they can go for 4 and 2 split as well. But with the addition of the mirror in this deck, you can actually elect to log both sides, and that's going to be a huge help, I would say. Log is probably just the biggest key card in this matchup, for sure, both on offense for chip damage and on defense, as you will see later in this match. But just wanted to take note of that. With this Xbow mirror deck, you can go for double logs, and that is going to be a huge help. So going back into the replay, we're going to go with a center place Tesla, same placement as you know, and I'm going to go for a knight and archers and then fireball, all of that clumped up stuff on the left. He's going to go for a flying machine and arrow. So arrows is really annoying, as you can see, because they can just go for arrows on to your archers. But what I want to say here is make sure you let the flying machine go across to the other side. Again, like I was saying before, you don't want the flying machine to be out of tower range. You don't want to just feed it a ton of value and just dump all your elixir bar into defending it. You kind of want to be a bit more calculated and kind of on point with your flying machine defense. So as you can see, I waited for it to cross over to my tower, played skeletons to tank for it, and then went with a center Tesla. And note that the center place Tesla will also be able to reset and just stay on the field for that much longer afterwards. So I'm going to go for the mirrored log again. I kind of went a bit early there and I was only able to hit one recruit in the right, but I didn't really want to leak. So that was kind of why I just went for it. And I go for a second Tesla here because I do want to avoid as much damage as possible. And again, I'm going to pause. Sorry that I keep pausing, but I go for mirrored logs on the right this time. And the reason for that is because he gives me all zappies in the same lane. The recruits are still alive, and it's just going to be a ton of value. And I think that does actually fully take care of the zappies. So definitely take that value if you can. This flying machine is out of tower range, as I said, but I'm not panicking. Just resetting with the center Tesla. Going for my mirrored logs again. So that is, I would say log is just the #1 lifesaver in this matchup. And the fact that we can use it twice in one sequence instead of once is just huge. Here I actually protect my Tesla. As you'll notice, the flying machine is locked onto the knight. Just wanted to pause to emphasize that. But he goes for a bunch of stuff at the bridge. He has recruits, he goes for zappies, he goes for flying machine and royal hogs. And I'm just making sure to protect my Tesla as well as I can. So I go for skeletons at first to kind of fend off the first few flying machine hits. Then I go for a knight, which is kind of a larger hit point body, just to kind of plant itself there and protect the Tesla from the flying machine so that it can maximize its value. So protecting your Teslas is a pretty good thing to do with Xbow in a lot of matchups, and it is no exception in Triple Elixir. So make sure you're doing that. Here I go for log, mirrored logs on the royal hog. So I think that's been like 3 or 4, probably 4 mirrored logs already in this replay. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's just that good and amazing in this matchup. And here we go for an offensive Xbow, just because I have a surviving Tesla on the field. Notice that I didn't really do it for a while starting out. I kind of let ourselves feel each other out and kind of get used to the matchup and make sure I'm fine with my cycle and everything. But once I was in a pretty firm position in the match, I then decided to go in with an offensive Xbow. So I go for a log, and I go for mirrored logs as well. Notice that I'm not like overcommitting, not fireballing all of this in the right, though that could have possibly been a good fireball. But I'm just kind of letting that Xbow die and resetting. But I am coming out ahead in damage every time because I'm getting log chip on his tower, I'm getting mirrored log chip on his tower, and as you can see, there's already a 500 damage difference between us. Here we go for mirrored Tesla, which is also pretty good. I've been talking about it. This is the first time I think I get to show it in action, or maybe not, I don't even remember. But anyway, he's going to be forced to fireball this if he wants to, because if he goes for a bar barrel, I can just protect it. And there I did go with a predictive knight, predicting his flying machine, and I think I just fireball it. So just pausing again to emphasize, protect your Teslas. If you know the opponent's cycle, you're going to know that he's going to want to snipe your Tesla with a flying machine, and so you definitely want to take full use of that knowledge and just protect your Tesla. As you can see, these mirrored Teslas are getting so much value, just absolutely shredding the recruits. So it is the perfect situation. There I catch a bar barrel. Again, very important. I want to emphasize catching bar barrels. Very important in any Xbow player's arsenal, but especially to protect your Teslas. Here I just fireball cycle, and he actually makes a big mistake letting me hit his flying machine, but not complaining. So here I go for mirrored skeletons as well. So as you can see, I mirror my skeletons for the Golem brawler just to kind of maximize the value of my Tesla. I don't want that big beefy hit taking out a huge chunk of my Tesla's hit points, so I'm going to mirror the skeletons. It also does kind of advance my cycle nicer, just for 2 elixir. So it's a 3 elixir across 2 cards. It's a really fast cycle, only 1 slower than the usual 3.0 Xbow cycle. But yeah, just you can find a mirrored use for almost every card in this deck, I would say. I did also have a match against Golem where I was mirroring my knight just to take full use of my Teslas, and so just be creative with your mirror and try and find the most optimal situation to use it in, but you can afford to be creative with it because it's very powerful in this deck. And here I think I'm just going to fireball the cage, just to kind of get ahead on damage. As you can see, I'm already at a huge damage lead, but there's no harm in keeping it. Here I'm not even bothering to log both sides. I'm just kind of shifting to a spell cycle kind of mindset. And here you'll notice that I go for my archers in the left. So that is just knowing that he wants to be going for arrows and fireballs on my weaker side tower, the right side tower. I'm making full use of that and kind of trying to either bait out his spells with my archers in the left or just maximize value from them because he can't do anything about them. So again, just kind of being aware of what your opponent wants to do. Here I take good fireball value on the flying machine, and he's just getting very desperate and trying to spell cycle me. So I take immediate notice of that and just mirror fireball right on his tower. And there isn't actually anything he can even do about it. So I go for another Tesla here. He goes for a flying machine at the bridge, and I just go with a knight. So again, that placement, very important. Let the flying machine cross the river and then tank for it. You don't want to be falling behind an elixir because he messed up against a flying machine. I think I've said that like 3 times now, but it just goes to show how important it is. And here I just close out the match with a mirrored fireball again. So just kind of emphasizing the spell cycle race, and I especially want to make note of the mirrored log in that matchup. I said that probably like 10 times at this point, but I just really want to drive the point home because log is such a powerful card, and just getting to be able to use 2 of them is almost unfair in a way in a lot of matchups. But that is going to be the video, guys. So that is going to put me at top 50 in the global tournament. Again, unfortunately, I had this one loss. I had this one game against Splashyard that I wouldn't say I played very well. But we were able to come away with the win there, which was great. We had a ton of games against E-Golem, all sorts of crazy stuff. E-Golem Night Witch Rage, E-Golem E-Barbs, Rocket, Fireball, Tesla, Arrows Rocket, Mirror, just all sorts of crazy E-Golem variants, but we were able to come away with the victories there. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Again, let me know what you think about this kind of early global tournament top 50 pushing. I think I'm really proud of how I played it this time around, just because Triple Elixir is so hectic, and I think I did play it pretty well, to be honest. And Mirror is a huge help, so special shout out to Mirror, I guess. But yeah, definitely try this deck out if you want, guys, because it is going to be very good at taking care of all sorts of matchups that the normal Ice Spirit wouldn't necessarily be able to. So if I had Ice Spirit against that Recruits deck, for example, I might have lost just because I couldn't have utilized Log as much as I did if I didn't have Mirror against a lot of those E-Golem decks or heavier beatdown decks. I wouldn't have been able to mirror Xbows and kind of just get all the momentum in my favor. But yeah, just wanted to say how good it is in this deck. Try it out, let me know what you guys think about it, and let me know what you guys think about this top 50 global tournament push series. I've been able to do it for the past 3 global tournaments in a row, I would say. So that is a pretty good track record. This time was probably my best one yet with 18-1, but it would have been better if we didn't even get that loss in the first place. But anyway, I digress. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a good day, and take care.